Hello, this is Bike Ojema. Welcome to my channel. In this tutorial, I will be showing you how to make jewelry pouch. This is something you can easily take with you when you travel, or you can just leave them on your dressing table. To get started, we need 3 different sizes of circles. For the big circle, we need 7.5 radius. So if you have a pencil compass, you can go ahead and use it to draft the circle. If not, then you can just follow along with me. I'm going to multiply 7.5 by 2, which is 15. So I'm drawing a vertical line with 15 inches on it. Then I'll go ahead and mark the middle, which is where the 7.5 is. So that's going to be the radius of the circle. So I'm also going to draw an horizontal line with 15 inches line, making sure that a 7.5 falls in the middle of the marked point. I will do the same thing all around, and as I'm doing that, I'm marking the edges of the 15 inches from the beginning and the end. I will be doing this all around the circle, making sure that I'm marking the beginning and the end of the 15 inches everywhere. So once I have enough marks that I'm comfortable tracing out, then I will go ahead and start tracing those dots out all around. From one edge of the dot to another. So at the end of it all, you'll have a perfect circle. It may not be super perfect, but at least it will be perfect enough for what you want to do. Then go ahead and cut it out and set it apart. On the second circle, we'll be using the radius of 5.5 or 6 inches. It depends on what you want, but I'm using 6 inches, so that will be 12 if I multiply it by 2. So I'm drawing a line of 12 inches and I'm making a dot in the middle of the 6 inches. Then I'll draw a vertical, then a horizontal line, just the same way I did with the first circle. And I'll be tracing this all around till I'm very comfortable with the amount of dots that I want to make, so it will be easy for me to trace it around once I'm done with it. Also, go ahead and cut it out when you're done connecting all the dots. When you're done cutting it out, set it apart. And we have another circle. This is the smallest one, and this is a 4 by 4, or I'll say 2 inches radius circle. Multiplied by 2, you have 4. So you're drawing a vertical line of 4 inches and a horizontal line of 4 inches, but just making sure that the dot is on the 2 inches in the middle. So trace it around once you're comfortable with the dots that you've made, just like we did the previous circles, and go ahead and cut it out. I'm using 2 different fabric, a knit fabric, which is softer for the inside, and a decorative fabric. So I've cut out a big circle and a small circle each of the fabric, and also that little circle is an insole or fleece or an interfacing. So you can do whatever you want to do with the fabrics. So here is the outer fabric that I'm using. So I pick up the smaller circle and I turn it upside down at the wrong side of it. So I'm going to kind of measure the 12 inches and mark the 6 inches in the middle. I'm trying to get the center of the fabric here so I can place the insole or the fleece that I have on top of it. I'm also going to mark the fleece to get the center of it, which is 2 inches, because you remember we cut out 2 inches radius. So I'm going to place this fleece on top of the 6 inches radius outer fabric, the fabric that I will be using for the outer part of the pouch. So I'm pinning it, connecting the dots so I can get the center, like so. So I'll just go ahead and sew around that fleece on the machine. So here's a closer look of what it looks like after I sewed the fleece on to the fabric. And that's the center that I was talking about, that I used the pin in holding in. Here is the knit fabric that I will be using for the inside of the pouch, and that is a 6 inches radius circle. So I'm going to use the right side together, the right side of the outer circle and also the right side of the inside circle, which is the decorative fabric and the knit fabric facing each other. So I'll go ahead and sew it around, but I'll leave a little space, and this space is what I'm going to use to turn it inside out. So before I take it out, I'm just pinning this down so it will not shift when I'm sewing it. So take it to the machine, sew it around, and leave a little space for turning. So here's a closer look of what I did. So when I got done doing it, I kind of snip a little around the circle, and this will just allow for the circle to stay in properly when I'm turning it, so it won't be bulky. So that's a little space that I left in there. So I will open it up and flip in or turn in the fabric outside. So here is what it looks like after I finished turning it out. So that's the opening. So I'm just going to kind of fold it in a little, and I will go ahead and top stitch all around the circle. I'm using a pin to just hold them in so it will be easy for me when I'm sewing it to top stitching around the circle. So here it is. I have top stitched the edge of the circle all the way around. So when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and set it apart. So I will get to the bigger circle. So I'm going to do the same thing I did with the smaller circle. I have the outer layer right side facing up, the inner layer right side facing down. Then I'm going to go ahead and stitch around the circle, leaving a little space. And when I'm done stitching, I'm going to clip the edges, flip it around, and top stitch. So here are the two circles. So if you want to make the decorative part, the inside, here's what you're going to do. But I'm using the knit fabric as my inside. So I have the two sides of the knit facing each other. That is the knit side of the bigger circle facing up and the knit side of the smaller circle facing down. I'm using knit because knit is a little bit soft, so this can hold the jewelries properly. So here I'm trying to get the middle, the center of the circle. So I'm using the pin to hold the small circle onto the big circle after I figure out the center of it. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to mark out 8 lines. So these lines are going to start from the top of the small circle, and it's going to end right in the middle where the line of the trace of the fleece is. Something like that. I don't know if it's close enough for you to see, but I will show you better when I'm done with this. So I'm just making 8 lines, literally, but you can make as much as you want, but I think this size is good enough to hold my jewelries. So it depends on what size you want. Once you're done marking all these lines, so you have to go ahead and sew it all down, each of the lines. But before I take it to the machine, I'm just going to use a pin to secure each line or each open space, so it will be easy for me to place the machine on the fabric and sew it down. Also, you have to first sew it the middle circle all around first when you take it to the machine. And why we sew this is because if we don't secure that circle down there, once you put your jewelries in, everything will just fall into the middle of the pouch. So you have to look for something to hold it in place to secure it from going all the way down. So here is it at the machine. So I'm here and I'm sewing around the middle circle first, just like I said earlier, to secure the jewelries from falling into the middle of the pouch. I'm done with the circle and I'm clipping out the threads with my clipper. So that's the circle that I just finished sewing. So I'm going to go ahead and sew all those lines that I marked earlier, starting from the top of the small circle. Make sure you back stitch from the beginning. Then you go ahead and sew till the middle circle that we just secured and back stitch. You'll do this to all those lines that you marked. So that's it. That's the circle in the middle, and those are the lines that I just finished sewing. And here's what the inside of each hole is going to look like. See it? And that was why I had to secure that down part. And here's what we have to do next. Right on top of that circle, the small circle, we have to sew a straight stitch all the way around. So here is what it looks like after sewing the straight line on top of the smaller fabric or smaller circle. Turn it around and pinch a hole on the outer fabric right there. Get a bobbin pin and attach your ribbon onto it. Then push it into the tiny pinch of hole that you have, and keep dragging the bobbin pin along the tube with the ribbon attached to it. Just keep doing this until you get to the end of the hole opening. So once you get to the end of the opening, pull out the bobbin pin and take out the ribbon off the bobbin. Then make sure that you secure each of the tip of the ribbon by tying it maybe once or twice or 3 times. Distribute the gathers all around the pouch to make sure all the gathers are evenly distributed around it. So that's the end of the pouch. You can make it in different sizes, different fabric, and different fabric colors. There's no limit to what you can do with these pouches, and it's so useful everywhere because I have different sizes of each on my dressing table. If you are new to my channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you are an existing subscriber, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you for watching this video, and until I see you the next time, stay blessed and God bless you all. Bye for now.